1-0. We're in the room. We're in the room. We're in the room. We're in the room. There you go.
Aye. How are you getting on, folks? I'm just saying Justin stuff there, actually, by the way.
Yes, that shows you how perfectly planned the show is.
I was about 30 seconds ago. Away, I'm making a cup of tea.
You were not, were you?
I was. I'm still slightly delicate, Justin. Still slightly delicate.
Right. You haven't touched those lovely samples that people send you.
It's doing my head. It's nearly 2 weeks. I haven't had a drink in nearly 2 weeks. For anyone who doesn't know, I went and had an operation not Thursday past the Thursday before, tonsils and all that, all stuff at the back of my throat. Only found out yesterday that my pain relief was about a quarter of what it should have been, and that's why I was in absolute agony for a whole week. Yeah, so that didn't pan out as well as what we'd had hoped. Yeah, not pleasant, Justin. Not pleasant at all.
It doesn't sound it at all.
It really wasn't. No. So basically, I had pretty much zero pain relief and a whole bunch of open wounds in the mouth. So I haven't been able to eat anything.
I think you've lost a bit of weight, but it looks of you.
Well, but like this was one day this week I ate one slice of toast. That's what I ate all day.
Gosh.
Yeah. So it's been a tough week, to be quite honest with you. And of all this lovely whiskey sitting, just turn that around a wee bit.
And you can't touch it.
And we can't touch it. This is a sample that Justin actually I managed to make. Justin never even drank it on me. I'm absolutely amazed at this. This is Bernie and the gangs, Bernie and the Jets down in Blake's the Hollow, Redbreast. We sample from one of our viewers what that is. We have what's this week? Something like this week.
Very nice. Very nice indeed. Yeah.
When James says calf strength, James is calf strength. This is proper stuff. What is it? Hang on. No, there's none of this. Oh, it's calf strength at 46%. This is 63.67%.
Very good. Very good.
That is the stuff. So yeah. So basically 64%. And then this little box of Cologne pot chains. A little sample of Cologne. Their own spirit. That's bottle number 2, by the way. That's bottle number 2. It's in there. I'm looking forward to all of that, So there you go. With all these to try, I can't even drink a beer. I basically have quadrupled my painkiller stuff. So I'm not drinking while I'm on that. I'm on the opiates and everything. What a disaster.
Very good.
So
very good.
Stop that forest.
We'll better have say hello to some people tonight. A lot of people on board already tonight. Michael Matthews, good evening. Good evening. Whiskey to you too. Thomas Jones is saying good evening. Remember, if you're watching, always comment, like, and share. We're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, Telegram, and Twitter, which is now owned by Elon Musk. So at least we know we won't get Muskabird.
Free for all way, Ellen. Free for all way, Ellen.
Patrick Mulkey saying hello. Julie Mason saying hello. Normal service is restored. Not quite, but he's getting there.
Not just yet.
Yeah, we're in almost fine fettle, James. We're in almost fine fettle. Sander Fenton is saying yummy. I think that was yummy to the silky, the cat string. Trevor Watson saying hello. He says you're looking well. Yeah, he's looking well because he's lost weight. Do you not think he's lost weight? I think he's lost weight.
Side proof.
Connor Weeble saying hello. Let me see. Michael Matthews. He is one of them too. Silky, or maybe the kilo one. I don't know. Linda Cox is saying hello. It's the Silky. Michael Matthews is saying he loves that silky. Shane Foley, I haven't heard from you in a while. Evening all, enjoying a Blackbush tonight in front of the fire. Yeah. And let me see there's not many messages tonight, but she's saying, don't forget the ice, it will be good for the recover. No, he can't have anything.
Too hot and too cold, James. And it's the other day I was actually sitting holding my head like that. It was not much pain. I actually thought I was going to cry. That was how bad it was. And then yesterday, pumped full of meds, all was right with the world again. Anyway.
Very good. Very good. Here, we've got a question. What's the highest ABV that's legal in this country?
I don't think there is an upper limit. There's a lower limit. You can't go below 40% and call it a whiskey. But upper limit, there is no upper limit. But there's a sort of
taste limit bound to be.
Oh well, I mean the thing about it is it's to do with distillation. If it's just pot still distillation, there's only really a certain upper limit you can get to, because it's called the VLE equation. It's basically alcohol pulls water with it when it's being distilled, and it pulls it across. There's only a certain amount you can get to. Column distillation, you can get much higher ABVs. Still has to go into casks for 3 years to be a whiskey, but if it comes out after that, it's legal. To make pure alcohol is almost impossible because of the nature of it.
One or other or both of us has been insulted. Thomas Jones has just said Marty looks like Justin's twin brother.
Thomas, don't push your dress. That's all I'm going to say.
You don't look anything like me at all.
Thank God.
There you go.
There we go. See the whiskey novice is in the room tonight. No, wait, Jim, what about you, wait?
All right, good.
Top man he is. See you soon.
Good.
See you soon. Aye.
What's first tonight then?
Well, because I missed last week, and I can't go into a big rant and rave because my voice is not going to hold up to it. But what a bunch of useless bastards the UK government is. I mean, it's. I don't want. If I'm going to get Zuckerberg, I might as well get Zuckerberg for something proper. They are fucking useless beyond the reasoning of Job. I mean, they are awful. And I sent you a graphic. Post this up. When Kami Kwasi Kwarteng was made Chancellor for 15 or 20 minutes, he came in and he said, now he made a whole pig's breakfast of the whole thing, right? We're not going to argue any of this. One of the things he said was he was going to roll back some of the tax increases that there was on coming in on whiskey. Now, it's these things, they always bring up Scotch whiskey because I swiped this from the Scotch Whisky Association. Now, the one on the left is following the 23rd of September's mini budget. Basically, it was going to be that 70% of a bottle that you buy on average was tax. So it says there, out of the 30% at the top, the cereals, the yeast, the water, energy, packaging, marketing, distribution, salaries, and investment. That's all in that 30%, 17% VAT, and 53% excise duty. Okay, that's what's in the bottle. They reversed it again on the 17th of October. So basically, 3 weeks later, a little over 3 weeks later, they reversed it again. It's went up, and out of the cost of it, it's going to be 78%. Now, how on earth can an industry that's a multi-billion-pound export industry supports tens of thousands of jobs put up with this crap all the time? And I mean, what on earth are these people thinking? This is one of the flagship industries of one of the areas of the UK. And to be fair, Northern Ireland has to be taken in as a slightly different ball, but it's still part of it. And this is the crap that they come out with. You know, people are drinking better and drinking less. And we'll talk a wee bit more about this later on when we talk about the about illicit alcohol and stuff. But people are drinking better quality stuff, and it costs a little bit more.
So what you're saying, you would be thumbs up for Truss because that was a smart move.
it would have been certainly beneficial to the likes of myself. To be fair, this doesn't necessarily affect me because I'm buying better quality stuff. I mean, the likes of the Silky, obviously it's from the Republic of Ireland, but it's a slightly different thing. But I tend to buy slightly better quality stuff. But most people buy entry level bottles, your Johnny Walkers and all this kind of stuff, and they're putting the price of it up and the price of it up to curb excessive alcohol drinking. The people who are drinking excessively don't care. They'll drink anything because they have an addiction and a problem, and that's the issue. And what they're doing here is they're jeopardizing people's jobs and an industry, and for what? And it goes from oh, we'll do this, then we'll not do this, then we'll change this. Then you don't think this industry's under enough pressure at the minute? You know, the amount of stuff that it's facing in terms of energy costs, raw products, supply issues, all of this, and they have this amount of confusion going through the industry is just shocking. It's shocking. And then you look at that other lot we have up in Stormont. I mean, they're even worse than useless. They're deliberately bad, you know. But anyway.
Don't you be going berserk on us? You were on a rant there like me.
No, but no, I mean, it just sickens me.
I mean, that's powerful. That is powerful. That, you know, that's less than a month. That is U-turn. That is serious stuff. You know,
I mean, an 8% difference in tax just on the bottle. I mean, to give you an idea, what they're saying is within the space of 24 hours, because obviously it changed from one to the other very quickly. It was a 12% increase in tax, or about £1.35 on an average bottle. That's what the Scotch Whisky Association came out with. I mean, just to get 12% increase in tax on an industry that's already facing huge increase in costs. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Madness. So, if you're watching tonight, remember to say hello, comment, and we'll put your question up on screen. We are live every Saturday night from 10 until 11 on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. No, not on Instagram, and LinkedIn, Twitch, Telegram, and Twitter.
Are we going to get off these Twitch people again tonight? Last week they started. Was it last week? The week before they started on you or on me as well? On me, which is even worse. Even worse than me.
They're just bots and they're just crazies. They're just crazies. So don't worry about them. Charlton Heston kills them all in the movie. Let me see. Declan Boyle, moonshine on way back. Yeah, the moonshine is on the way back. Yeah.
Well,
and that's when whiskey gets dear. Yeah. That's good point.
There's lots of stuff. The price of some of the whiskies coming out is just ridiculous. It's shocking. When you're taking something like this, really good quality product, really well made, tasty, huge ABV, and compare it in price to some of the other stuff that has come out. Okay, it maybe has an age statement and whatnot, single malt, all that kind of jazz. I don't know where they think they're getting the price for it, but I mean, there's different reasons for different factors of all that. But it's very strange, very 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 strange. Anyway, the reason I was bringing up the thing from a couple of weeks ago is the Irish Whisky Association published their annual report this year, which makes for interesting reading. Lets you see where the industry is, what it's doing internationally, the pressures it's under, what it's done, what it's doing, various other bits and pieces all the way through. You know, the big thing that it showed was that there's massive issues with supply. The supply issues are really, really, really a strain on them, and that's everything from you can't zoom in on William Lavell's face there. Because you wouldn't think I think he's really happy in his work. He just needs to tell his face, you know.
I can't. You need to go and buy a 55-inch TV. I can't zoom in it because it's a PDF, so I can't do that, unfortunately, in this. But yeah, he doesn't look happy. No, yeah.
All right. No, it doesn't look happy. But no, it makes for interesting reading. There's a couple of things. It goes through a whole pile of stuff. Obviously, supply chain issues. Just leave it there a wee second, Justin. supply chain issues, and one of the big things is the likes of glass, labels, and so on and so forth. And obviously, some of the supply coming from China. Well, China keeps going into these voluntary lockdowns. I mean, they
Mm-hmm.
shut down Wuhan again there just on a whim. And obviously, that interrupts your supply chains. Last year, you had blocking of the Suez Canal, you had the war in Ukraine, and all this stuff. All adds up. Interesting point here: two of the countries in the top 10 Irish whiskey markets, Russia and Ukraine. Obviously, those markets massively affected now. Basically, you're taking away Russia because they're not supplying to there. That's 5.1%. Now that'll be made up by other countries, but all of these things sound like international problems. But when it all boils down to it, it affects your everyday producer and manufacturer and so on and so forth, and all because of crazy people doing crazy things.
We could sell the access that Russia isn't getting and Ukraine can't receive to India, and that would offset the oil that they're getting cheap.
Well, the only thing I would say is I think the people who are producing it probably have thought of that before us, Justin.
All right.
They would have stole our thunder somewhat,
Mm-hmm. Might have.
Now, if you bring that up again, there's a scroll down to the top emerging markets. Now, this is what they put down as top emerging markets. So you see China, Hong Kong, Israel, Austria, Nigeria, New Zealand, Turkey, South Korea, India, Kenya, and Mexico. Now, if you add in just China and India, you're talking 2.83 billion people, roughly. So there's a lot of scope for growth in those countries.
Mm-hmm.
The likes of Turkey, I think there's probably best part of 100 million people in Turkey. Kenya, Mexico, these are big population countries whose economies are growing quite well. Nigeria, I think Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa, isn't it?
I thought it was Egypt, but anyway, could be wrong.
Well, but I guess it's up there. So no, you have lots of scope for growth there, and obviously the established markets inside of it as well. So yeah, this kind of thing makes for interesting reading. The link for it is going to be Justin will put it up there. A couple of other things worth noting on it as well is that lots and lots of Irish grown barley is being used, which is really cool for farmers. It's really good environmentally. Brings out the environmental targets that the industry's getting up.
Well, hold on. We've had a question asked about that. Have to ask, lads. What do you think of the peat issue and concerns regarding digging it?
Well, my argument would be this: it's an intrinsic part of the whiskey production and the whiskey industry is peated whiskies. For the amount of peat that has been used and is being used and is going to be used, it's fractions. I mean, they're talking about banning or cutting back or limiting the amount of peat that can be used in the Scotch industry. Have you ever seen what they dig out for the gardening industry? It's on a scale much higher. And if it's managed properly, the peat bogs suffer no real damage at all. I mean, the amount of peat that's used in the whole of the Scotch industry, which is enormous, is a fraction of what's used for burning at home. So I think it's one of those sectors that probably need, like everything, it needs looked at, but it just needs the idea of a blanket ban on it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. There's no need for that at all.
Here's another question to the discussion that topped the show off tonight, the government U-turn. Stacey McAllister saying the cost in the States was ridiculous a couple of weeks ago, over $40 for 250 millimeter measures of Jameson's. Holy sweet.
Well, I mean, that would be, if you're in Scotland, you get 25 mil measures. So that would be 4 measures. So $10. it's probably about double the price you would pay for it in Scotland, and maybe a bit more than that. It's just ridiculous. I mean, this idea that people who drink are just going to keep shoveling out money for. I mean, and some of the bars need to go and have a good look at themselves. You're walking in paying £13 for a small glass of wine. So, sorry, you what? And I mean, I can understand them wanting to recoup their money, but what are they offering as an experience to validate that amount of money being shelled over? It's ridiculous, you know?
That's a dilemma. That's a dilemma. It's just because they know people want to drink, so they want to tax it, basically.
But this is where the Irish Whiskey Association report deals with this as well. One item that they did deal with is the illegal and illicit trade. The legal and the illicit trade, you scroll down a wee bit, is dealt with here. Now, this is more of a problem in the likes of Thailand and India and so on and so forth. But if you increase...
Oh, I've got it. That's it there. Yep.
Yeah, if you increase the price of it beyond reasonable, what people would consider a reasonable amount, well, we all know what happens. The illegal guys start coming in, and they buy the counterfeit bottles. Oh, we've got cheap bottles of Bushmills up at the market. You know, we've got cheap bottles of Jameson up at the market, and you've no idea what you're getting. No idea. And I just wish they would.
I certainly wouldn't drink it from that kind of source, because they're always having issues with that, aren't they?
But you go into somebody's house and they have it sitting, and you put it down. It might taste off, but if you can, I mean, we've all done it where we've went out to the pub, had a few drinks with a couple of mates, blah blah blah. Ended up back at somebody's house. Down comes a bottle. But at that stage, you're not really sure what you're drinking. You know, your taste buds are out the window. It's not. I mean, it's neither here nor there. God knows what people are going to be putting in themselves. And I mean, people with problems, alcohol problems, I mean, that's what they're going to go to. And it gets to a point. Now they put a QR code on that. Well worth scanning that QR code and going and having a read through some of the stuff. I mean, this is globally, this is worldwide. And it's well worth reading the report on it, because it's scary in places, you know. I mean, hundreds of people dying because of the illicit industry.
Yeah, works very well. All you need to do is point it at the screen, and it comes up in the little app, and it tells you all about that. Countering illicit alcohol trade worldwide. There you go. And it's from the World Spirits Alliance. So it does work. So just try that QR code there, and you can have a read of it yourself.
I love the way you say it does work. As if what? Were you doubting the Irish Whiskey Association, Justin? Or even worse, doubting me?
No, it's when people say, I don't know how to do that. All you need is to open your camera, point it at it, and then the link will come up and touch it. Yeah. You don't take a photograph of it, because that doesn't work.
No. Now, moving on. Oh no, hang on. There was a picture of this after the Irish Whiskey Association launched this. One of our local politicians, a fine upstanding man, was pictured giving his comments on it, and he said that the Irish whiskey industry was a great industry, and so on and so on and so forth. And it was none other than local MP for myself, Ian Paisley Jr. Now, Ian Paisley Jr.'s dad would not be happy with Ian Paisley Jr. going on about the devil's buttermilk and how good it was for an all-Ireland industry. But Ian has moved somewhat in his thinking. Might get a free holiday. Does Sri Lanka have a distillery on it? No.
It probably does. But listen, you can't fault them for singing their praises. I mean, a lot of these MPs are very good constituency MPs, and my opinion would be that he is a good constituent MP, and he always does shout the loudest when it comes to sort of industry. And
he does, but yeah, he's not the worst at that. But his dad wasn't very vocal in support of alcohol, and his dad certainly wasn't. If it had been an All Ireland thing, it wouldn't have been on.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Oh,
Maybe not.
James says Sri Lanka has 2 distilleries. And now we know there'll be a tie-up. A distillery twinning organisation we've set up. Bushmills will be twinning with the Ceylon distillery or something.
Very good. This is what this is. This is Whiskey Novice is saying about the price here. He's saying about the price. Local Irish bars charging £16 plus for Redbreast 12. That makes for a £3.60 pound bottle. Seriously, whoa, that is, yeah,
It's ridiculous. So,
Mhm.
but they think people don't notice this stuff, It's madness.
Yeah.
Absolute madness. So it is.
There you go. Look at that there. Peter Stewart got the new Jameson single pot still 5 Oak on Thursday.
Is it in
Very
your
good.
shop, Peter, or is it in your house? That's the thing.
Maybe the case is in his house.
Wait, did it transition from your shop into your house? Is that?
Yeah. Greedy government.
They're all greedy. They're all greedy. They're all greedy to get your money, and it's not. That's another thing that annoyed me too. Is whenever people say, "Oh, Liz Truss gave money to the rich." No, because this is a mental thing. She didn't give money to the rich. She just didn't take more off them. She let them keep more of their own money. She didn't give them money because there's this idea that the government gave money to these people. No, what it did was it just didn't take more off them, and both sides just do my head in the way they talk about it. It just absolutely does my napper, and But anyway.
Yeah, and rich people use it to buy things, which keeps poor people in a job, which sort of keeps the world turning. Yeah,
the government's money to take. It's the people who earn the money. It's their money. But if the government lets people keep more of what they earn, that's. But it's a societal thought process. Where they turn around and say, "Well, they give more money to them." They didn't. It's not the government money to give. You don't have any money. Peter has 5 in the shop, folks. So, are there any left, Peter? Is there any left?
Green Island. There must be 5 left.
Green Island tomorrow, boy.
So let me see. Did we make the list? Did we make the list tonight?
No, this is the most admired whiskies, Justin. This is the top 50 most admired whiskies, not the top 50 most admired whiskey bullshit talkers or whatever they call them these days. Like what we are. This was a list that was published. The 50 most admired whiskies. Okay. And it was done. Lots of these lists and shit appeared, but this is. I actually find this quite interesting. The experts were asked to base their decision on quality and consistency, price to quality, and strength of marketing and branding. Right. By Drinks International, that's who composed the list. Now, the most admired is Springbank. I don't really see that being. I would have no argument with that, to be honest. I think Springbank do a magnificent job. The branding's amazing. The drink's superb. I mean, it's fantastic. Hang on. What happened there?
It's very low. The volume is very low, but it sounds very high to you. Is it? I'll have to stop it then. Hold on. The volume is actually off, but it's you're hearing it's high. But there you go. So we won't play that video, but there is a video you can play of the world's most admired whiskey brands, which is rather trendy. But can you hear me again, Marty? Can you? Yes. Yeah.
No, but stick the link up there because it's worth going through.
Yep.
Now, Springbank was voted number 1, Mitchell's number 2, Yamazaki number 3. Fair enough. Top Irish one was Redbreast in 6th, which is pretty cool. It's pretty good. And the Irish ones seem to occupy a sort of place just in the middle. Redbreast 6th. Now, I thought this was quite interesting. Jameson was at 23rd, which seems quite low to me, but fair enough. But it's only one place above Waterford.
Which I thought was a bit weird too myself. There you go. Waterford's a young brand and Jameson's an old brand.
Well, it goes to show you the stuff that they're doing in Waterford. You have to take your hat off to them. I mean, the scope and vision of what they're doing. Whether you agree with it or not, that's the terroir thing. I know people get the punties and the twist over the head of it. But the thing about it is the design, the packaging of it is superb. It's beautiful. It stands out, looks the part, nailed on. The concept of it, the delivery of it has been really good. Some of the whiskies have been really good. Some of them not that fantastic. Some of them very poor. Obviously, I would sincerely doubt there's that many people who have tasted the entire range, to be quite honest. But you take your hat off to them. So they're 24th. Teeling 32nd. Bushmills way down in 36th. 2 places above Method and Madness, which is for Method and Madness to go from being a non-entity, when was it launched? 4 or 5 years ago, to making it onto that list, which is, and whenever you consider that they're tiny, and I know they're an offshoot of Middleton and all that kind of stuff, but or Irish distillers, but Middleton is in 43rd. So Middleton's 5 places below Method and Madness, even with the massive collectability of Middleton on the secondary market. How much in demand it is when it comes out. I would have to say the reason that it's down there is the quality, because people just don't drink it anymore. And the quality of it, it's spot on, but it's certainly not worth secondary bottle prices. And then in 50th position is the spot range. So the Irish whiskey makes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 positions out of the 50. A nice showing. Kavalan from Taiwan came in 7th, 2 places above Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker way down at 9th. Macallan sitting in 10th. So yeah, it was nice. There's 10 different countries on the list there. Everything from South Africa, Australia, even England. England with the Cotswold distilleries on it. And it's nice to see them.
I saw that. That surprised me with that. The Cotswold were not. But there's no surprise with number 1.
Everybody loves Springbank. It's nearly impossible to get a bottle of it now. It's just almost impossible to grab a bottle of Springbank. So it is. So if you pull up the list onto the full screen there, let people see. So that's the full list. Woodford Reserve, Buffalo Trace, all the big names are there, or most of the big names are there. But it's well worth checking that out too. So you have the link for that, don't you?
A link for the video? Yes, it's on here. That's the video. You can watch the
link for the magazine as well.
There is. Yeah, there is. I'll be able to find that as well. Yeah.
Post that up. Post it up. And then people can go and have a little look at that. So yeah, very good, very good. Now, do you remember last year we did the black bottle experiment? Remember?
I do.
Black bottle.
I do, yes. Yeah, yeah.
Their Alchemy series, they've released 2 new bottles for it. I thought it was one of the best things I did last, in terms of experimental stuff and well presented, tasty whiskies, decent price, interesting thing to be doing. Well, they've released 2 new bottles. The Andean Oak and Smoking Dagger. The Andean Oak is $29.95 a bottle, 46.3%. And Smoking Dagger is $27.95 a bottle and 46.3%. Now, if you go to the alchemyseries.co.uk, they bring you up, welcome to the Alchemy Series, tells you about the bottles, where to buy them, and so on. And then there's 2 wee cocktails. And then there's a try the taste experiment. You got that up there, have you?
Have, yeah. Want me to bring the page up? Yep.
Yeah, bring the page up.
All right. Chrome Alchemy Series. The Mind Reader or the Mind Reader, yeah.
Try the taste experiment.
Sure. Let me see. Oh, I'm not sure it appears, Marty.
Wait, where are you?
Hold on.
Alchemy Series. .co.uk. Where are you?
Is that it? Yep.
Yeah, that's it. So what you do is you hit that button, start button.
Okay, I'm going to try it while we're doing it. Okay. Yeah.
See what happens.
Okay, so I'm going to hit the start button, right? Yep. Read it. Click A or B. Am I ready? Toffee or what's that? Toffee or cranberry?
Don't worry about what the images are. Just pick whatever one you like. I know
I can't decide. There we go. Okay.
This may take some time.
Honey or orange? Honey or orange?
Think about being,
Jesus, I like both of them equally.
but don't think
What's
about
that?
all you do
What's
is
that?
the image.
Okay.
You like.
Take your pick. There we go. Show my results. Here we go. Here we go.
So you like it's bringing this up, and it said that you like the cocktail. When
Right.
it brought up that I would prefer it just neat, which is exactly the one that I would have picked, and exactly the way I would have taken it. Now, it's a bit of fun. It's a nice thing, and it shows that they're actually thinking about the customer, giving them something to play with, something to enjoy. And I like all this stuff. Everybody knows I like a gimmick, but the black bottle stuff, I really impressed with black bottle. I think the blending and stuff that they are doing is superb. I really do rate it. But especially
Peter tried it and he got Andy and Oak as well. There you go. But there you go. Great minds think alike, Peter. Great minds think alike. So where are we? We're more than halfway through the show. If you want to ask us a question about Anthony tonight, please do. We're just glad to have Marty back with us, because I was getting worried I was going to have to do 2 weeks in a row without you. And I didn't know who I was going to get. But anyway, there we go. We're actually hopefully going down to see these guys soon, aren't we?
Who?
Leap of the Dog.
All right. Well, maybe we'll see. Limavady whiskey, Darrell McNally, big dog lover that he is. He has been hugely successful with this. He's done really well. Top guy he is, and he's done really well. And what he's brought out is a single barrel dog collar. Huh? You can attach this to your dog, and it can carry your whiskey around for you. What's not to like?
I'm sure the RASPCA or USPCA might have something to say about that. That's a very small dog and a very big barrel.
I don't know.
We're going to get reported. What do you see?
Wait, we ain't done nothing. There's a German Shepherd carrying whiskey. What more could you want in life than a?
I'd be hard scared to go near that German Shepherd carrying the whiskey, because it would be after me.
All right. Well, that would be more of a reason to go down if that was more of a reason to take you down there.
There you go. Julie loves it. She loves it.
She loves all that.
She loves it. Sean McClan loves it. There you go.
The website. Go on to the website. Bring up the website.
We'll see. Hold on. I have to click it. There we go. Website. Share screen. Chrome tab. Limavady single part. There you go. And here it is. Can you see it? You can. There you go.
So there you go. $129.99 US, and you can get a Limavady single barrel collar and a bottle of whiskey for that, and you can hang it around your dog and go for a walk around America with your dog, bringing your whiskey with you. What's not to like? Well done, Darrell. Another triumph, buddy.
Yeah, that is lovely. Yeah. I must admit, it's a pretty unique thing. I haven't seen that done before, except with what is it? Is it Berners?
Yeah, but now you can do it with these Scotty dogs, right?
Do you actually do tea in a pot with tea leaves? Do you?
I do when I need excessive amounts of it. Anyway, next thing up is Sunday the 13th of November from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. We have an event with McConnell's Whiskey. McConnell's in Belfast. There we go. Bring this up. It's Message in a Bottle with wee Danny Simpson. which is going to be taking place in Margo in Belfast. For £40, you get 3 bespoke cocktails, nibbles, little small plates. There's wee spot prizes. I imagine it's bottles of whiskey. And also, you get a masterclass from Danny Simpson, the wee artist. If you don't know who she is, you'll see her stuff all over Belfast. She's fantastic. Her stuff is really, really cool. You get it outside White's Tavern, beside St Anne's Cathedral. There's a couple of pieces. And it's all very intricate, sort of cartoony-esque and stuff. Really nice, really, really cool. Met her a couple of times. Where did I meet her the last time? Last time I met her was she was doing the Christmas fair up in outside City Hall and her stuff there. So yeah, really cool. Want a nice afternoon out? That would be a nice one to go to.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks very interesting. That it is. Yeah, and there's food in it too. There's food at it too. Mm-hmm.
It's Nibbles, Justin. Which for everybody else would be nibble. For Justin, it's hoover up all the food in sight.
Small plates, but it's cocktails. 3 bespoke cocktails. Cocktails are about a tenner each anyway, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, it looks interesting. It does look interesting that there.
Two pieces of Danny Simpson art. I'm just moving this stuff out of the way a wee bit because of some other stuff to bring up. I'll actually set that. I'll set that down out of the way. Marty and his magic table. Did you sit back there? But no. So yeah, that'll be a nice night out. The reason I'm moving this out is because I want to bring up this baby.
Oh,
this is Cologne cask number 1, and I got a bottle of it. Cask number 1. Present it in a very unique Cologne way. The bottle, wee cardboard box, and a wee wristband. I really hold all in place. It's all very Cologne. I see lots of people have got them this week, opening them up, trying them. Good on them. I won't. And I'll tell you why. Because this is the kind of thing that I collect. First bottles and last bottles is kind of where I really, really like collecting stuff. I have a number of first bottles from new distilleries or new producers and stuff that I have here. And I think those are the things that I like to collect. There's people who collect Scotch malt whiskey bottles, or people who collect Middleton collections, and so on and so forth. And all well good. These are the kind of things that I like. So I won't be opening this. I'm just putting that out there right now. I'll get a taste of it. I've already tasted Brendan's Spirit before. But that's the kind of things that I like to collect. And there's a few reasons for it. I'll give you an example. The new Dunville. What?
Well, Ricky's asked a question which is quite relevant to this. He says, Ricky McCurdy says, when I first started to buy whiskey in the 1970s, I drank Stewart's Cream of the Barley, White Horse, and Black and White. I'm wondering if any of these brands exist anymore.
Stewart's Cream of the Barley doesn't, as far as I'm aware. White Horse, yeah, White Horse is still on the go. You wouldn't really get it over here. And Black and White, have I seen that recently? I don't know. I'm not sure. There wouldn't be anything I would ever really have drank that much of anyway. Stewart's Cream of the Barley, I remember I had that one night and I thought it was vile. And that was way back when. But yeah.
You were part legal drinking age when you tried Stewart's Cream of the Barley. I didn't mind it. I've had it.
It was terrible. But I'll give you an example. Something that's worth collecting. This is the first bottling of Dunvilles from Eckmanville, guys. This obviously isn't their spirit. This was just, it was a thing to get it off the ground and get it on the shelves. I mean, this is a really, really nice thing to have. Not that expensive, but quite rare in its own regard. But this is something that I wouldn't open because this to me is a collectible. give you another example. This I did open, but I have another bottle of it. This is the Old Cumber. This is the first expression that they had of Old Cumber from the new batch. Now, this is pretty much all their spirit. There's not to let anybody in it, but it's like 90 odd percent Eckmanville pot still whiskies. We bought this one. Not a good investment one. This is our good friends at Ballykeefe. Shh, don't be telling anybody. Don't be telling anybody they've got a distillery. I can get this open.
Watch the bottle doesn't fall out. Watch the bottle.
Very nicely presented. This is their inaugural bottling of their pot still whiskey with 2 glasses and nice box and stuff. This is their first offerings. I see David or Fiona's in there. Fiona and Short Crosses out there, very historic one. We have another one down here. These are just stuff that I left out that I had sitting at hand. Surprise, surprise. Connaught Distillery with nice pubs, the first cask. These to me are kind of historic things, and they're not really. They're designed for people to collect. This one, they give you. This arrived this week, but they give you a little lapel pin to say that you've bought it. This is a long time after this arrived, by the way, to tell you that should you come down to the distillery, that you are a charter member and you're part of the family. So I think that entitles you to stay and get your dinner and all.
Can I have the land of that C pin? Can I?
You get advanced access to purchase new releases of our products and keep an eye out. You can always top up your home bar by going into the shop, obviously, but it guarantees that when you visit, you'll receive a welcome home dram. So you get a drink every time you get down, and you'll get 10% discount on any purchase you make while you're there because you've done this. And this is kind of what you buy into a distillery for, and I really, really like that kind of thing. So brilliant to see Brendan releasing this. I have a sample of cask number 2. I'll get a taste of the official release, but that bottle in and of itself, to me, that's the stuff that I collect, and I really, really, really like it. A couple of new ones that are coming very shortly. Keep your eye out. Our good friend Sir Maurice O'Connell, down with the Liberator, down in Wayward Irish Spirits. His is coming very shortly. Keep your eye out for that. I think Black Waters is coming as well very soon. So if these are the kind of bottles you like, and to me, if you're interested in whiskey, and certainly in the new renaissance of Irish whiskey, these are the kind of bottles that you have to pick up. They really are the ones that you really, really want to be buying. Very collectible, nice things to have. And sometimes with the likes of this, you get Grunder rights with it. 10% off every time you go down. I'll not be down in Connaught all that often, but if you do go down, it would be it's well worth it.
Yeah, certainly. It's interesting to see the presentation in these. That seems to be a big thing. Things they're there in presentation boxes to sit out to be shown, really, aren't they?
Well, that's it. I mean, it's your first sort of, if you've produced this is your first hurrah, if you like. I mean, obviously this is slightly different, but it's the same kind of thing. Your first ever offering, your first ever. Maurice O'Connell, Liberator, Wayward Irish Spirit. This one, the Lakeview Estate. There's a whole plethora of different names for it. He's got it down now. It's a single estate bottling, but he doesn't have a distillery. And he's argued, and I take my hat off to him. He's argued in this case that the barley's grown on the farm. It's harvested on the farm, obviously. It's taken away to be malted and distilled, and then brought back and aged, finished on the estate. So he's got permission to call it a single estate bottle. there's probably people who disagree with that because they're not doing the distillation on the estate. I be honest with you, I think if he's argued his case and people are happy with it, fair dues. There's plenty of people who distill it on site, but they don't malt it. So, but they still get the cost.
What's the difference? There's no difference.
So basically, it's a mechanical process. So they harvest it, take it away, they malt it, bring it back, distill it, and and so on. So I really like the guy. I really like the stuff that he does, and I really look forward to his bottlings.
That's it. Gosh, a lot in the show tonight again. A lot to take in.
Nearly 2 weeks without a drink, boy.
All right. You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
I'll be all right. The only problem is, normally if I go 2 weeks without a drink, I want to murder people. But because this week it wasn't that much pain and done it with that much energy, I didn't really have the will to do it.
Very good. Very good. Oh gosh, so somebody earlier on couldn't believe that you had the Nottingham Forest mug sitting out on you.
What result last week, boys? Beat Liverpool. Come on, boys.
That's it. Yeah. And Frank Hearn was saying, you mentioned Shortcross there. Frank Hearn was saying he was down his local off license, and there was a tasting. Wifey was handed the car keys, and then without a doubt the best bottle was the Shortcross Superb. Yeah.
Yeah. Aye, Frank, you're a massive big Shortcross fan, and good to see because you keep it local. And I'm all for keeping it local. Always big up people that you live with, people that are beside you. Always do it.
Right. There you go. Michael Matthews is saying, "I'm sure you'll make up for it when you get back on the wagon, off the wagon or whatever." Linda Cox, she can hardly contain herself, But
no,
there you go.
2 solid weeks. 2 solid weeks. We have to make up for this. Just people shouldn't have to go through stuff like this.
So here, Stacey's asking a good question. Is there any whiskey that is made in one place from start to finish?
Yes, there are a few of them. The one that springs to mind, just when it hasn't actually been released, it'll be Ecklandville. Is made, the barley's grown on site, malted on site, distilled on site, aged on site, bottled on site. It'll all be done from grain to glass on site. There's other ones too, but that just because there's a bottle of it sitting beside me. There's loads. There's some of them that pride themselves on this. That's their kind of thing. So Loch Lee, for example, we interviewed them this year. And there's other ones as well, but it's.
I was nearly going to say that, Marty. I must have been picking up some of this. I don't know how, but there you go. Yeah,
well, that's what it's saying. But there's some of them that's what they want to do, and it's that kind of idea of terroir, sense of place, and it's a really, really nice thing to do. But it's like everything else. It's some people do it and they think this is the way it shows us our what we do, but go across. There's other people who will import their grain from other places. They get it malted at other places. They get it distilled at other places, and they're bringing it up their stuff and sourced stuff. It's not bad whiskey. There's people, and I hate people going on about integrity bottlings and authentic bottlings and all this kind of stuff. What does that mean? I mean, integrity bottling because it doesn't have an age. It has no integrity because it doesn't have an age statement. The guy doesn't own a distillery, or he doesn't have a distillery that's been there long enough, or whatever. I mean, it's just bollocks. If someone's buying in good quality spirit, aging it well, blending it up, producing it at a decent price, where he's not sticking the arm in or she's not sticking the arm in, and so on and so forth. That's as integral as anything. It's how people engage and interact with their customers, what they're trying to do. Black Bottle, no one will tell me that that's not got integrity to it. They have brought out a really good product, really well presented, really decent price, tasty, and are giving you a thing to sort of experiment and have a wee bit of fun with. So if your idea of integrity is that it has to be made on site 100% by local people with, young virgin girls running around and the young boys looking out over the fields and all that crap, go away. I mean, just it's not you're not engaging me with that, because most of it's cartoony nonsense, to be honest. The guys who actually are doing lots of work, producing really good product, and trying to keep it at a reasonable price for the customer. That's integrity to me.
Maintaining that long term is going to be increasingly difficult with the price of raw materials and energy.
Well, it's like this, Justin. There's factors that are outside the control of the producers. You can't control certain things, but it's when you see people trying to rip people off and putting the arm in straight away for product. It's not fantastic. Or there's one in particular that popped up a few weeks ago. Where these people think they're getting the prices from just baffles me. And who do you think they're selling it to? Buying sourced whiskey from a fairly new producer on the market, so they don't have the legacy of saying we have independent bottlings, we have sourced whiskies for years, and they're bringing that wealth of knowledge to it, and a signature on the bottle or anything like that. None of that, and they're charging hundreds of pounds, hundreds. Baffles me. Where do they think people are going to buy that? Is just beyond me. The likes of these initial bottles and stuff, that's a different concept. But your everyday run-of-the-mill product baffles me why they think people would stump up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds to buy what's probably reasonably good, but not brilliant spirit. Baffles me.
Well, we're going to leave the last word to SQ. Great to see you back, Marty. Great to see you back. Yeah.
Fingers crossed next week we'll be in better form.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Right. If you haven't already, hit subscribe on YouTube and hit the bell. It helps us. We'll see you again next Saturday night, 10 p.m. live, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, Telegram, and Twitter. And, wherever you get your podcast from, you can just ask Alexa or Google to play it, and you will hear it. Yeah, it was an interesting show tonight. It was, yeah,
I'm
a wee bit different.
I'm away to take a massive amount of painkillers. That way, hopefully, I can get asleep.
There you go. All right. I'm away to edit this down and upload it for the podcast. There you go. And the Halloween thing was that last night, and the walking tour was that the other day. But there you go. Lovely stuff. Take it easy. Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Glad to have you back. All right. Cheers. Good shows. There you go. Frank's at it. Everybody's at it. You all go ballistic, and they all come through. You have to say Teletubby bye-byes before I do Teletubby bye-byes, because it comes through. Things were actually coming through in the wrong order tonight that I typed in. Work that out. I typed